Okay. We're going to start from the beginning of the Siman again. Even though we read the Mechaber, we'll start from the beginning again. Kol davar taf kuf mem gimel. Page Yud Dalet Amud Beis in mine. Melacha ide'ena Yehudi b'chol hamoed. You have it?
Sorry, where's the row?
Taf kuf mem gimel.
Okay, we're up to there.
Oh, we're up to here. Okay. All right. This is okay. We're already up to the next one. Okay.
Which one are we doing?
Talkuf Mem Dalet. Okay. Tzorchei Rabbim mutar la'asosem b'chol hamoed. Things that are of public need can be done on Chol Hamoed. Kigon l'sakin hadrochim u'lahasem hem echshalosh, to fix the roads and take off the people that are buried over there. U'letzayin hakforos, and to be mitzayin kforos so kohanim could go there. Kadei sheyizor mehem hakohanim. U'lesakin hamikvos, and to fix mikvos so people can tovel and be tar.
This is even nowadays?
This is even nowadays, but it depends which mikvos you're talking about. V'dafka tzorchei rabim ke'elu shehem tzorchim leguf ha'adam. These are tzorchei rabim that the people need them. Avol shar tzorchei rabim kegon binyan beis hakneses. That is also lasos b'moed. V'hu adein shar tzorchei mitzvah also lasos v'lechas uman b'moed. You're not allowed to have a professional work be done. So I'm just going to start over here with what is the binyan beis hakneses. It's something that I need, but not for I don't need it for my body. I don't need it for me personally. I need it for things that I have to do. Right?
Just because it's spiritual needs doesn't...
That's not a physical need. That's right. That's not called something that I need l'tzorchei haguf. Okay, that's tzorchei mitzvah. So that even though it's tzorchei rabim and other people need it, but it's only tzorchei haguf, which the case which I'll use, which the person can speak about, a merchatz, that can be fixed on Chol Hamoed. But that's speaking about a public bathhouse. It's not speaking about your private shower. We'll maybe discuss that shortly. What's halacha about a private shower? There's a whole discussion nowadays what the halacha is.
Could we say that our mikvos kind of turned into merchatz?
You can say whatever you want.
But a lot of people use the mikvah as a shower, like just to bring out the point. They rent diras at least in the olden days, and the mirror doesn't have a shower. So you go to the mikvah.
Yeah.
So do we still have a din mikvah? Could we say that?
Does that still happen?
Nowadays, I don't know.
As far as I know, I don't think anybody has a need to go to the mikvah, as a bathhouse. I think that everybody...
But they use it as that. I don't know if they need to, but tachlis, if they go into mikvah, it gets used as my shower.
Perhaps. All right, but this is the idea. So let's just see the Mishnah Berurah. Tzorchei rabim mutar, v'da l'chol tzorchei rabim mutar afilu kivnu malachtim b'moed, v'gam b'farhesya b'tzorch godol, even though it has all kinds of pirsum to it. V'tam she'etiru b'kiva malachtoi, d'chol tzorchei rabim einam nigborim ela b'shar shehem b'telim v'kulam mischabrim yachad. Tzorchei rabim, you need to have everybody onto the project. V'moyasa achshav yizbatel adover, and therefore the Chol Hamoed is an appropriate time that everybody's willing to get together and do what has to be done. So the tzorchei...
Even though you don't need it for a chag, that's the...
we didn't discuss that yet. V'im yesh lehem manig sharashus b'yero lasos levadoi, also lo lechavim ulachtem b'moed. He is not allowed, if you have a mayor, then he's not allowed to have it happen in the moed. V'yesh b'zeh shtei chilukim. D'emu ma'isa umon einu muter elam kenu tzorch hamoed. Then it has to be tzorch hamoed. Ve'imu ma'isa hed yetshari afilu imurak tzorch achar hamoed. Something which is shaykh to the tzibur, even if it's a ma'isa hed, you're allowed to have it done even achar hamoed, because things that the tzibur need are not bound by the moed. Okay. If you're not going to take away the impediments on the road, there'll be like a shayfich damim im ira michshol. Somebody will trip or something like that. With a saket hamikvois, who adin de lechakila gam ken lasos mikvah b'chol hamoed. Do mi dechafiras bar. V'davka k'shtiyei nigmeres b'chol hamoed. V'tiyah tzorech hamoed. It's going to be used. Dim lav hochi aser dehu ma'isa uman. And all ma'isa umans are aser to do on chol hamoed if they're not going to be used for the moed.
Even if it's tzorchei rabim.
Even if it's tzorchei rabim. tzorchei rabim ke'elu. V'hu adin l'sachid merchet l'tzorchei rabim. שיש בהם צער הגוף, אם לא ישרחץ. וזה גם כן דווקא נגמר בכל המועד, ותהיה צורך המועד, אם הוא מייסה אומן. כגון בניין בייס הכנסת, לרבוסה נוקת. אפילו בניין בייס הכנסת שהוא מצווה, כדי שיספל לו במועד בעשרה, it's not just the צורכי רבים, it's also a mitzvah. אפילו אין מקום אחר לספל בעשרה, even if they don't have another place to make a minion. גם כן עשר, the person doesn't need this. It just has to be finished off. It's still aser. יעקבו עקבו מלפניסוי ובספר בא במורדכי כוסו הכל לפי המוקם והזמן ואין לדעת מה שאין עברויס ואין שם. And I'll just mention that this Chol Hamoed, I had a shah that came to me from Tel Aviv about a shul that was in the middle of doing repairs, and the kablan that was doing it was willing to not work on Chol Hamoed, but there was a problem with the scaffolding which was hired to do it. And if they were going to not work on Chol Hamoed, they'd have to pay a lot of money for re-renting the scaffolding, which was necessary. And they asked me, and I basically said what it says over here. I said that I don't see any heter. And then they went and they asked a different rabbi, and that other rabbi, he found the heter. I don't know where he found it from exactly, but that's
that be a hefsed merubah?
Could what be a hefsed merubah?
The fact they has to pay so much more money in order to do it, so it would be a hefsed.
What is a hefsed merubah?
A loss.
Not that you're going to have to pay money. They have to pay money is not a loss. There's a difference between not gaining a lot of money and losing a lot of money.
It's costing him a lot of money. That becomes a hefsed for him because he has to pay out.
No, that's not a loss. That's called, it's expensive.
It's called an expense.
Right.
So what hefsed merubah would mean
that you're going to lose.
Ceiling is leaking.
Right.
That cause damage.
That's called hefsed merubah. But to build a ceiling, that's not hefsed merubah.
Even though you can get the ceiling for half price on Chol Hamoed? That's it.
That depends on other factors. Just because it's half price on Chol Hamoed, we'll soon see Mishnah Berurah says clearly that that's not enough. But it doesn't mean that the door is closed. Okay. The Kosovo Shai Tshuva the Nogel is Sadat Tzachirab Mechol Hamoed the Manim Gaboyim Parnasoyim and nearly them Tzach Lichto B'Inyan Ezeh Lo Yichtu Ksav Ashuris Kim B'Metisha Oy B'Ksav Shalanu the B'Ksav Ashuri Hu Ma'isa Uman V'Aloi Lo Hutu Tzachirabim Elishu Tzarech Haguf, and therefore it's not permissible even to make Gaboyim and things like that. All communal work that's done should not be written down in Ksav Ashuris, because Ksav Ashuris is a Ma'isa Uman.
Like Ksav Ashuris from the Sefer Torah?
Yeah. Okay, Tzachei Mitzvah. Nitzon Eloimer, the Milas HaMitzvah Loi Mahani Lahater B'Shvil Zos Moleches Uman, Av Keshetzorach Lo B'Moed, U'Ma'isa Hedim Mutter L'Tzorach HaMoed, Av Kesheino Mitzvah. So, the Ma'isa Mitzvah is not going to help you to be mater the Ma'isa Uman. Boros umayonos shel rabim shenafu b'hem offer v'avonim and eskalkalu. If you have these boros that things fell into them, they got ruined. Mutul esakram afilu ein rabim tzichel lemata. Why? Kivan she'ein ma'isa uman. All you have to do is pick up the stuff that's inside. That's not a ma'isa uman. אבל לחבר להם בוירס מחודש, שהוא מייס אומן, אם רבים צריכים להם עתה מותר, ען חל המועד, אפילו אם קיבלו מלאכת במועד, אפילו בפרהסי ותרחי יסרה, שהם צריכים להם עתה ען חל המועד, אוקיי, לא יעשו. אבל בוירס השיחים מאורס של יוחד, also לחבר עיסה מחודש, אפילו צריך להם עתה, אם היו עשויים כבר ונסקלקלו, אם צריך להם עתה מותר לסקלם. ומאין צורך להם עתה, also לסקלם, אבל מותר להמשך מים לתיכון, אפילו אין צורך להם עתה. So here it's all different kinds of different levels of heterim if it's for a private person's water pool. Okay. I'm going to go to the next siman. Okay. Also, lichter b'chol hamoed.
Things that we could be talking about is not necessarily if you need it for the moed. It's only because it's a public thing needed for bodily functions. As long as it's done.
Tzorchei haguf of a person,
Yeah.
you're allowed to do even a maisa uman on Chol Hamoed.
Does that have the condition that has to be finished on Halloween too?
That it does have.
That it needs to be.
Yeah, and what would be included in that would be to take a haircut. If it wouldn't be for the fact that there's other things that tell you they cannot take a
So
haircut.
it's not only.
Yeah. Okay.
Why
Also,
is that-
lichto b'chol.
Why is that?
Because it's special gezerah that you had to do it beforehand.
No, but why is that tzorchei robbing?
And it's a tzorchei rabban, that's tzorchei adam personal. You're allowed to cook for yourself. You're allowed to take a haircut for yourself. Also, lichto b'chol hamoed. Va'afilu la'agia ois achas b'sefer aser. ולצורך הרבים יש עשרים כל שאינו צורך המועד ויש מתירים. And if it's tzorchei rabin, there are those that are matir and those that are aser. V'nogu lo'hokel b'chsav shalanu she'ena ma'isa uman. Chsav shalanu is not called ma'isa uman, and therefore you're able to be mesakin. So what is it? What's the sefer that you're writing? It could be a Gemara. There are many people are going to use the Gemara, a Daf Yomi Gemara. There's a mistake in it. You could do it. So let's see the Mishnah Berurah. The Fishain calls Vishain Tzorch Hamoed LeMikri Tzorch Ram Kivon Shesh Lam Sefer Achel Likras Boy. Fafilu Motzot Tois B'Moed Oser. Ois Achas Kigon Lasas Miresh Dalir V'Chiyai Gavno. Avla Hafri Tevos Dvukim or Ois Shahayer Ishumoy Niker Shoy Lahavrol of Kulmis to be materit. V'Sefer Torah Shechoset Tfiru Ba'amudim. It's not. The pages have to be connected. Yivakshu ish she'eno mal yochol yitfirenu. Tzorchei rabim loy koya agos asforim hanal. Desham vaday hu ma'asu uman v'asol kuliyam ma'avshu tzorch rabim kol she'enu tzorch hamoed. You cannot fix it. Elakoya astam ksiva shu tzorch rabim. Yesh asrim v'lisfirlei destam ksiva ma'asu uman v'yesh matim tzirlei de ksiva zulas sforim tilnum zuzos have afilu ksiva meruba have ma'isa hedyet. Shein adam mak v'lichter oisom kitikun kol kach.
Wait, so fixing the letter in the Sefer Torah is always a ma'aseh.
It's considered ma'isa when it's
Like if
also.
there's a little gap there, you just when you drop a bank there, it's ma'aseh.
It depends in what case. If you have like a resh they make into a dollar, then it's aser. But if you have it something faded or something like that, then it depends exactly what the tikkun is that you need. And if you have another sefer, you don't have another sefer. If you don't have another sefer, then it's permissible.
Even so, you don't have to roll it by the lining.
Yeah, so you can roll. Let the good times roll. Okay.
This matter, the other half of the Ramah matter, our English writing.
Yeah. We'll still discuss our English writing.
Okay.
B'ksav shalanu, dahanu ksav mitzvah, the noctinu ledina shezek shav eno ma'isa uman. V'ayin sifhei demevur sham da'af, b'zeh aksav nagu lahachma v'lashanos, v'kol malka b'yanenu shu tzorchei rab min lashanos. When we nowadays we write in English, so we write with some kind of a shina, which we'll learn about that shortly.
But this is only mutter because it's tzorchei rab also.
So then, right? So we stack them up together.
A sign for the shul on the minyanim or something like that.
Yeah, that would be permissible. Nearly shevein them sefer Torah kosher likras boy, but tzibur mutel hagio b'chol hamoed kedei likras bo b'tzibur. V'chein sefrei mikra u'gemara shetzarach likras b'moed mutel hagiam b'moed. Mishum Dahavi Davar Aved. The main Sefer Torah Klal, Yesha Lekoso B'Chol Hamoed, Aydei Soy from Harvard Yichdevehu. The Tzach Moed Hu Likros Batar B'Tzibur B'Moed. So if you really need it, then you're allowed to do it. Vu Adin Shar Svarim Lilmod Behem, you're allowed to do it. Okay, says the Mishnah Berurah.
Is this if there's no other Sefer Torah in the town, or there's no other Sefer Torah
In your shul. I don't think you have to go by the town. Likros B'Tzibur the Tzach Hamoed, Afilu Ma'isa Uman Shari, Mutter La'Giyoi, Fuadin Choser Eza Oisai Teva Mutter Lichtoi, V'chein B'Sifrei Mikra Tamua, Tayochal Limo B'Ema Afilu Einemu Goyim, Rak Yasa Roisha V'Makomat Tois V'Achar Moed Yisaknim. Why do you have to fix it? V'tzarech Loimer D'Mai Shemagia Mitoch HaSeichel, V'lo Mitoch Sefer Acher. He's doing it by heart. V'Esher Sha'achar Yom Tov Yishkach Iyun Hazeh. He'll forget what he had in mind. V'Avidavra of it. V'Mogen Rankat Tirates D'Mai Sheni Yochal Lilmo Mitoch HaYedei Harbe To Yosov, V'Meinu Magia Metchila Zeh Nechshel Kedavra of V'Mash Einu Loimed. Okay, but all these are basically all the same. We have to come up with an answer.
Getting a new print, or making a new print. You have the old print of the old shoot safer that's, for people like me, very difficult to read.
Yeah.
My piss is willing to, or Bar-Ilan has a very nice new print. Could I print out I have a shoot safer in front of me of the old Rashi letters that are half,
And what do you want to
I
do?
want to print from Bar-Ilan, the same shoot,
A new
just
printer.
clear from a printer, yeah. Or
I think
something
that's
like
permissible.
Is the printer called Masuma?
It's just a machlokes. It's a machlokes of Yankiv, and I forgot who else. There's a machlokes on that issue. Shar Svarim Lilmo Behem, Retzayne Lamer, Shetzach Lilmo Behem B'Moed, Mutter La'Tikam Kedei Lilmo Behem. Ayim Beis Yes the Masha Sham Davke Mutzarech Harabim. Avodim Yamogen Avov Agro Masha Dafil Tzarech Atzel Mutter to be matik, in order to learn. Okay, Gimel. Kaisev Adam Tefillin Uzuzas La'atzmoi. V'Toiva Al Yerecha Tcheles the big day. You're allowed to prepare these things for yourself. Im ein loy ma yoichal. Kaisev u'moicher lachem kedei parnasasai. And for other people, if you don't have what to eat, you can write and sell to others. V'im haya loy haitzoyas yaiser berevach l'simchas yantav. And if he makes extra money, he should spend it for simchas yantiv. If you wrote them in order to wear the tefillin on Chol Hamoed, but making the tefillin, that's shari. Now, what is included in making the tefillin? The Mishnah Berurah is going to give us a list. It's not what you think. Yeah, but he doesn't have such a big mice. What he allows.
Make the kesher.
No, putting the parshas in.
But then you have to close it.
Okay. Says the Mishnah Berurah, La'atza afilu alicha machar hamoed, de'ilu anichas masech hamoed, afilu acherem shari. Al yerecho, lav davka afilu bepelach, which is the machine you're allowed to do it. The le'asi lafuki elo galgal da'asher milsa, a big machine that everybody's going to know about it. The vigdor, afilu alicha bevigdoi, the lo sha'achar hamoed, you're allowed to do it. Moichel acherem, v'hainu afilu acherem enam lokim el anicha b'achar hamoed, then it's shari. The le'gobi sha'amloch l'shalabais l'skos apoyel she'elam alecho, they're allowed to do that. O sheyilo retzar loymar afilu yeshel ma'alecho de ba'alma oser lasas malacha hachadu mitzvah kilo kedei sheyeh lo yoser than the minimal amount of food. Avo oifen zeh in lahakol rak hecha da koine locho kedei lekayim mitzvah tefillin b'chol hamoed gufa. Avo lo keshelocho b'shel achar hamoed. V'ayim b'bir halacha. Yosef Revach Tzachos Yosef. Avo keshe'ein tzorach gam lezeh shu asher, he's a rich man, also lichto v'likach schar. Avo kaisu b'chira mishil chaveroi kedei sheyochol lekayim b'chol hamoed. Mitzvah tefillin. V'das atur de shari al achar hamoed lekuli al achar hamoed lekuli al ma'aser. Tim kason kedei l'nicha b'moed. Av de mitchila mari gam ken kason kedei l'nicha b'moed. Dizek koi adir yam achaver shekason reish asif v'koisu v'tefillin zosla atzon mashma mizeh de lacherim lo yitzur shum heter im lo she'eno ma'alechol. V'al zeh kason dafka k'shekoisu b'shil achar hamoed. Av k'shekoisu l'achar kedei l'nicha b'chol hamoed gufa muter av b'schar ben sheyesh lo ma'alech ben lo ma'alechol zeh she'siyah b'chol inyan shari according to the Ramah. Okay, Eino
What
also.
about for somebody else who's not going to be able to have a chance to get tefillin unless you write them now and you have more?
That's probably what they're also. Eino also. And also rak aksiva, but the asiya is mutter. Koya koisev kedei la'nicham la'achar moed the also b'schar elam ken eno ma yochel halakam then also aksiva aval asiyos and shabbat tam the kivan the tzarech mitzuhu loigazer because they're things without a big tircha. But making the batim, the Chodim say that that's called a big tircha and that's aser. Okay, the next halacha is a halacha which is very relevant to us nowadays. Mutter lichlav cheshbonosav v'lachshav yitziyosav. A person can do his accounting. I guess you know. V'uadin haksavim shekoisen kishamalvin al mishkona shari, to keep notes of your financial distress. It's permissible. Says the Mishnah Berurah, why is this mutter? If you're not going to write it down, you may forget it. This is very common. If it's not a davar over, then it's for aser. You can't be misad of them. I feel that you should work it out. That you should. This way you should be doing like Chol Hamoed, making your cheshbonos.
So that's probably what the average was on. Is everything's electronic anyway. If you sell it a credit card or have a record, you don't need to write anything down.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, if you have to write a check, then
That's also permissible. Is there such a thing as you have to write a check? Is there such a thing as a check? Almost not, right?
Listen,
When's the last time you wrote a check?
Still, when people come collecting money, to check sometimes, they don't have a phone to do it to. So yeah.
Have these non-phone
Some of them
things.
have the machines.
Yeah, these what?
But I don't know. Nowadays, would any handwriting be called a shinui? I mean, we're almost at that point. I'm not kidding.
I don't think that handwriting is called a shinui. It may not be a Maisa head yet. You know, it may be a Maisa uman.
We might have
Why
to
would
go
it be
back
a
to the
Maisa
Maisa Uman.
What?
That's
That'd be interesting.
That doesn't make it a Maisa Uman.
Okay, you want to say it become a Maisa uman.
Oh, wait.
Now I become a calligraphy guy.
Right. I
Yeah.
don't even know how to write.
If it's on calligraphy, but kids are still learning it in school. But
Are they?
All right, writing. So, Mr. Koisten, I think that writing is a skill, is an acquired skill. This is like from the important yesodis in life.
Yeah, but you learn in first and second
Yeah,
grade.
even something that everybody learns to do doesn't make it not a skill.
Okay, this is writing back.
As I explained.
What?
This was a big hitter for me when the Rav said this many years ago.
Really, riding a bike is a skill you have to learn how to do it. So.
The question which all the place can speak about is driving a car. If that's called a skill that's
They drive here, you can see it's a nice head.
okay. Then ksav shekaisin Davidav o shamishkach o pashet hu yedin aschar shemuter lemach b'chol hamoed kigon shen tzarech hamoed kenal muter achemri lichtav ha'ka'os shemakiv kedei shelo yishkach. Anything which you're allowed to sell on Chol Hamoed, you're allowed to write down what you sold so that so you can keep track of what's going on in your business.
Only in the case where it was mutter, so.
Yeah. Okay, this is a fascinating halacha, not so negeya. Mutter lichtov shtar kedushim, shtar psikta, gitten, shvorim, daireke, matanas, pruzbun, igeres shum, igeres mazon. And we're going to see what all these are. Pirish shtar psikta, shadam poisik, loses livnoi, levita kach vakach. Pirish ditkoi, shtar atzavo, dote lemekim lihiyos, pruzbol toli, Kleber takonas hamav shelo ya'abed memoyne takonas lever sheyim so mishiyaveno. Perish igeres shum sheshamu bezdin nichse loive v'noslan lamalve. Igeres mozen shemochor bezdin tzakaka lemozen isha v'abonus. Kosu mais bezdin al zeh inam shekibel lav lozen es bas ishtoi. All of these things, these are financial obligations which the person obligate himself to do, and we're afraid he may back out of them. So you're allowed to commit them to writing.
Hard to say how plausible would be, right?
You could do it in the 7th year. Anytime in the 7th year, you could be doing it.
Yeah, but it's not. There's no urgency to do it.
There's no urgency, but you could do it. You could do it then.
Why?
Because it's the kind of a thing that you could do. It has a financial disadvantage if it's not done now.
This is the Rabbi.
What?
Because it's a Rabbi, then it's the Heter.
If you have right now someone that's willing to do it, and later you may not have someone, you may not
5
want.
months after that to do it.
Yeah, you have plenty of time. I don't know about that.
It's not a question whether you'll have time. It's whether this is the kind of thing that you can do. It's a kind of a thing which will come to a loss if it's not done.
Now there's everyone. On Erev Rosh Hashanah, everyone.
So you could do it. What you're saying has nothing to do with what I'm
But
saying.
once they say you could do it, you can do it even if it's not urgent at
Who's
the
gonna
time.
Right.
People back think about it all the time.
People
Change their mind.
Principal's not telling anybody else. I just need 3 people to sign it.
Hey, Prozba, you could make it if Erev Rosh Hashanah would be Chol Hamoed, you can make it. What's that? Would you have to make it?
Yes.
Then you can make it on Chol Hamoed when it's not Erev Rosh Hashanah.
Would you say slichas then?
Obviously, the answer is no, right?
Well, why?
Because this is the kind of a contract that's permissible to make on Chol Hamoed.
Why is it permissible to make a chol?
Because it could cause somebody to have a loss if it's not
It
done.
fits into that category.
It's something which is not done. Somebody's going to lose money.
Any financial thing that is.
That was the list that we just gave.
Even though it doesn't have to be now.
Yeah.
Because no, in the other.
The Igeres Shum, Igeres Mozon, all of these things, they don't have to be now.
Yeah, but the guy was finally masking, so if you don't hold,
Maybe if he can do it tomorrow, we'll be do it tomorrow.
then tomorrow he's gonna say, I don't know, but Prusbul is not totally in, just what my own Pukilu, it's not totally in anyone really.
It's totally on you.
What about your cheshbon stuff? You said there you have to wait till after Yom Tov if it's written electronically, right? You couldn't do the chesh if it's electronic. You said you have to wait till after Yom Tov.
Because what you already have it, it's not going to be forgotten. You don't have a problem. It's you can catch up. It's not.
It is slightly contradictory to what we're saying.
Why is it
Because
contract?
Prozbul, you could also catch up.
No, but this is the kind of a contract which is allowed to be done. There, you need the heter that you're going to lose out money.
Because it's not a...
Because it's ba'atzim that what you're doing is not something which is allowed to be written on Chol Hamoed. The reason you're allowed to write it on Chol Hamoed is because you don't do it now, it's going to be lost. So it has to be that it's going to be lost.
Right.
Because the source issue is a different.
And all these other stars are not...
These stars are stars that if you don't make them, someone's going to lose out.
Sounds like the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Please.
These stars, if they're not made, someone's going to lose. So such a star you can write on Chol Hamoed.
Meaning even if they're not necessarily not made now, but there is a loss in quantity if they
Right.
never come to fruition.
Right.
Okay.
Over there will be no loss. Just the problem is you may not remember it. So there, remember. If you can't remember, so that we said you could do it.
And here we will electronically where we won't forget. So then.
Then you remembered.
You can't be doing it.
So any star that there's a loss of money is mutter, even if it doesn't have to be today, it can be
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah.
It is
It's a
mutter.
very fine difference.
Okay, that's a fine learning.
Writing a kavittel to Rebbe on Chol Hamoed is covered by like Givul Kedusha.
That would all be.
What is writing a kvittel to Rebbe?
You know, you write your name and then your children on it, you write Tzlocha, whatever you want, Tzlocha from the Rebbe, and you go into the Rebbe and it over.
And a check.
So what's the question?
Writing that kavittel on Chol
Should I write it beforehand? What's your question? Are you asking this question before Chol Hamoed? Should I write it beforehand?
No, the Rebbe Pitom showed up.
You know, the Rebbe comes to your town or whatever on Chol Hamoed and he's doing Kabbalah Kahal, and you want to go to him. You didn't know he was coming, he just happens to be there on Chol Hamoed.
And it's a double open.
Why is it Dover Ovid?
I'm gonna miss my bracha, my kfettel.
going to be there next.
Dover Ovid means that you're going to lose something, not you're not going to gain something. Right, that's what the definition of Dover Ovid is. Now, it could be that it's Tzorchei Yontif. You want a bracha atzlocha on Yontif, and you want to have nachas on your kids on Yontif. All right?
You're going for bracha.
Want the bracha to be called now. Kadima.
So we have to find. I didn't say we can't be matir it, but you'll have to find a heter. But the pashtus of what you're saying, it's something that you want for in the bank for the future. It's not something that you want something for now.
You have something going on. You have a business transaction in process. You have a shidduch in process. You want to get bracha. It should be fulfilled.
So if it's already in process, then it could be ready. It's called a davar over. You may drop out. You may lose out. You may, right? It may flip the wrong direction. Okay. V'shtari chalitza o mion v'shtari berin o piskei dinim o muter lichta o ksuba b'moed v'yesh oisin v'geres shalom she'adam sholech lechaveroi afilu al dvar promakria she'ena avuda v'yesh oisin v'shela shalom. And then some say you're allowed to write a shela shalom, some say you're not allowed to write a shela shalom. V'noagu lahachmer b'ksiva shalanu shi ksiva metcha. And we're not to be machmer and not write Ger Shalom, even in our. Those are cholik on this. V'nogel lahachmer l'shanas kein tzarich lam dashina shaya koisin balach son kol ashuras. All the kozuk sav also b'chol shina v'kolmak kivan shemedina muter lichta v'geres Shalom b'loy shina k'mosh gazav v'yosef al shenogel l'shanas dai ba'ashinai. Shiksav Mishnah kama chorin kosim in the sedei nogel lahokol gusav Mishnah. You're allowed to write in our script. V'chein b'chsav shalano de'eno ma'is uman v'yesh lev al ma she'yismuchu v'machmer yachmer la'atzmoi v'nogim l'shanos ksas v'asiyah shur al yoyna akuma v'ayim b'bir halacha v'dad b'pakramatya avuda l'kuli yam yochal lichta afilu b'chsav shu ma'is uman v'ein tzarech l'shanos klal, because that's called davar ovid.
But do we keep calling writing in English not a Maisa Uman?
That's what comes out halacha l'maisa.
So why can't we write?
Because it says the person should be machmer.
Where was that one?
I just read it.
As a first.
V'kam machor because when you say nogel lahogel b'ksav Mishnah v'chein b'ksav shalanu de'eno ma'is umen v'yesh lem al ma she'yismechu v'amachmer yachmer la'atzmoi v'noagim l'shanos ksas b'shur al shayno v'asoi sakuma.
So basically, if I want to do the New York Times crossword on Chol Hamoed, do that.
I'm not sure I have any understanding b'chalal of the question. What is doing the New York Times crossword?
Is it oneg? Nothing
It's
else.
filling out letters.
And I didn't ask you how you do it. Well, I don't know. What are you doing?
You're
Keeping
writing
your brain
words
afloat.
in different things. It's not sentences, but you're writing words.
So that's the question. Are you allowed to write? It's like a ger shalom. That's the question. It's like a ger shalom. It's less than a ger shalom because you're not writing to anybody. You're just doing something for your own pleasure.
And therefore, it's
That's more reason that should be usher.
and doing it by typing, doing something by typing.
If you're writing emails to Shalom by an email, is that okay? No, okay. It's the same thing.
That would be like a ksimichtav shalom. That ger shalom. That would like
Same
yeah.
So if I use a funny font, is that called the Shino?
I don't. To use a funny font. I don't think that's called a shina because there's such a font.
Why would pressing buttons be considered?
According to some, that's a question if that's called you writing.
And if I do talk to text, would that be considered writing?
I don't think that's called writing.
Really?
Oh, we got a loophole here.
Yeah.
That's a major cool. We just mattered like almost everything.
What? What did you say?
You can
Talk to text.
Voice recognition.
Oh, you're talking
Especially if you
to
talk to it.
Well, people type to get it wrong, too.
Everything, the Chol Hamoed just went out the window.
There's a question, if a person takes a rubber stamp, I have a stamp that says my name on it, and I do that, is that a Maisa Uman? Is that a Ksibos Uman or not? So Machlekes HaPoskim.
Ask any 2-year-old.
You can ask any 2-year-old what?
It's up to stamp.
They can do it just as well as you can.
I understand that, but what comes out is a Maisa Uman.
Is this the Iglay tell about what Shino is?
No, this is different. This is different. This is a Machlekes. In Chalmoik Hilchos, there's a long piece on this. This has to do with many questions in Hilchos Chol Hamoed.
So if I have a friend or a family member has a birthday on Chol Hamoed, can I write a birthday card to them?
To who?
To the person who has the birthday on Chol Hamoed?
It's a Ger Shalom. That's a case of a Ger
That's
Shalom.
okay.
Medina, it's mutter. I think it's mutter. You're not writing it in Shuris, are you?
I haven't.
You haven't done that yet. Okay. Okay.
So which writing is Asr?
What's called a Shuris.
Just Ashuris? Writing Sifr letters of the Sifr Torah, like Aleph and the
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah, but our script writing is not called a Shuris.
Hebrew script.
Hebrew
Yeah.
script. And our English is also not called a Shuris.
And that's only a Yachmar that's why.
That's what the Mishnah Berurah says. But it depends for what. The different things you're doing, depending on how much the thing that you're doing has a tzad heter, how makel the Mishnah Berurah is. But Medina, I think that it's mutter.
And this one changed with the circumstances of the time, or
What should be
writing is not the same as it was 100 years ago or 500 years ago.
I think the Rosh should explain that.
I mean, you have I don't know what percent, 98% literacy or whatever it is, whereas, it might be 20%.
There's what's called a Maisa Uman is not dependent on how many people can do it. It has to fulfill certain qualifications. And if everybody fulfills those qualifications, everybody's an Uman. It's a technical thing, if you...
Chinese.
What?
Chinese is numerous.
Why is Chinese more numerous than
It
English?
takes years to learn it.
If you're not Chinese.
Even if you are Chinese, it takes years. It
So
really
you
is to
still have to
learn
learn it, just because everyone learned the art.
If it's a plumber, does it mean starting Masuma?
Yeah, to me this was the Rav made me very annoyed by this Kiddush, because writing always bothered me, but the Rav answered it
It's
very quickly.
years learning.
That's because I can do it, and anything I can do, I can't make Masuma.
Yeah, that was my
That's what I
understanding.
know, but
So like
That's my
changing light
understanding.
bulb, which used to be electricians,
I don't think that changing a light bulb is anything.
Everyone's
because circumstances changed.
I don't think a circumstance change. It doesn't demand any specialty information.
Or skill.
What?
Or
Or
skill.
skill. It doesn't demand anything.
But writing does.
Writing does. Just because everybody knows how to do it, that doesn't make it not a skill. In other words, I'll say this. If there would be somebody who said that knocking in a nail is not a Maisa Uman, but screwing in a screw is, I could understand that.
Which walls?
Doesn't make a difference.
In Israel, to knock a nail in is very difficult.
No. It's not difficult. That the nail should go in straight is difficult.
No, but the
But-
nail should even go into the concrete and actually stay. It's, to me, I could drill a hole, put a dibble, and screw it with a screw in, but to get a nail in concrete, it breaks out all the things, and then it just sits there loose.
And it falls out.
Yeah.
And then even if you went to college to learn how to do it, you still wouldn't be able to do it.
No,
The difficulty with it is not that you don't have the skill. The difficulty is that it doesn't work.
Well,
You
if it's
didn't
impossible
learn
to
the
do that,
you
you're
didn't learn
saying
the
that it's
technique.
impossible.
I don't think there is a technique.
Oh, there absolutely is.
What, to knock a nail into cement?
Or screw.
There is?
Screw, you have a hammer drill. and you
If
put
it's someone who is, that's his
screws.
business, they'll do it.
In concrete?
I'm not so sure about that.
Let the X of tape go right into the X.
Wood.
It's not going to help.
If it doesn't crumble, then it goes.
It crumbles not on the outside. It crumbles and after it goes in 3 millimeters. It crumbles on the inside. It doesn't penetrate deeply. That's the problem
With a nail.
with a nail. So I don't know how you can overcome that with skill. Maybe you
Say
could.
there is no skill.
Maybe there's no way to do it. I don't know.
I had a friend who used to get nails in
We used to do it with a gun.
What?
There's a gun to do it.
It's not a gun. He's good at these. He's good at these things.
I
He
think
used to
it's
get
a skill.
straight nails.
I think it's actually
That word. That's it.
a rare skill.
Okay. All right. Where are we up to over here?
The letter game is probably no problem. The Scrabble game, where people put liquid titles next to each other, that's not considered.
I don't think that's a problem. You're not writing anything.
For Shabbos also?
Shabbos is a different question. Shabbos is a totally different question.
One's
Uh,
Chol and one's Ksiva.
Yeah. Where were we up to over here?
Start, you saying start?
Where are we up to?
We just finished.
Ein kaiser shtari choy b'moed?
Yes, we are
We
thinking.
finished Mishnah Berurah Hay, Lamed Hay.
Okay. Ein kaiser shtari choy b'moed, imenu ma'amino ma'avul alayve, v'alayve tzach moyes, or she'en lo la'sefer ma'yochol, harei ze yichtov. If they don't trust him, or the cipher needs money, so you're allowed to employ him to do a malacha. If you're selling something. When you're hiring a worker to be a sharecropper, you can't write that. If the deal was done before the moed, you can't fill it in now, fill it in later. Okay.
Does this all include like drawing pictures too?
Drawing pictures is a totally different subject. There's a subject of big machlokes of today's poskim. If you do something which is a malacha because you enjoy it, and that's your oinig yontif that you want to do it. Where it's discussed, the Igros Moshe discusses it. A person wants to go fishing. Good American shot.
I
Okay.
did that once.
What?
I did that once.
On Chol Hamoed? Did you catch anything?
When I was 10 years old.
If you're gonna eat the fish for Yontif, it should be
We actually
perfectly
ate
fine, no?
it. Yeah,
Well, Ramesh says, Mater, he says you should eat the fish.
we did. We did.
Shlomo Zalman
Fresh
and
fish is
Yashiv
tastier
say
than
both
frozen fish.
both say that you shouldn't do it even if you're planning to eat the fish.
Even if you're gonna eat it?
Yeah.
Why is that different than any other?
They say you can't go to a petting farm and you can't go to this place where they do lamitas malachas. You can't do any of those things. No, Chol Hamoed.
Any fun to do what? To pet the animals?
What you do there is always you do things which are malachas. That's what usually goes on there.
So like you go to the farm and they let you milk the goats or something.
So you're not allowed to do that.
Or you
Okay.
could pick up the bunny rabbit and pet the bunny rabbit.
Yeah, that you could do.
Okay.